Okay, folks, let's try this again. Apologize for the blip if you caught the 2 minutes of the previous video before I could delete it. I will delete it once this stream is done. Didn't actually have to reboot. As soon as I stopped trying to stream it, it connected to the EA servers. So, whatever. But welcome. This is the Battlefront Livestream podcast, for lack of a better name. I am your regular host here, Nathan P. Butler. My podcast that you can listen to if you're curious, there's one about Legends and canon called Star Wars Beyond the Films, which I host with Mark Herleman over at StarWarsReport.com. I also am one of the two hosts, sort of second banana, on Cloud City Casino, which is a Star Wars gaming and collecting podcast there with Michael Morris over at StarWarsReport.com as well. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, over at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. In this case, for this stream, not really a whole lot of directed goals to try to get done here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the issues that we've run into recently with heroes versus villains, which has become a pretty frustrating experience for many players, myself included, and a little bit about just some of the other things that pop up as we're going through here, a little bit as we go along when there are some dead times about what's coming up for X-Wing and what has just been released for Imperial Assault. This time just me. Michael will be joining me on another stream sometime soon, but not quite yet. So here's where we stand at the moment. About a quarter of the way at this point towards rank 60, which is the max level at this point, in the process of working on a 25 blaster rifle kills challenge, a win 3 heroes versus villains matches challenge, which is a complete pain in the ass now that heroes versus villains is pretty broken, and then use 30 charges, working on that. I've already done the daily challenge. Actually, oddly enough, I did 2 daily challenges. Got online earlier today, knocked out one. Shortly thereafter, another one popped up and knocked out that one. I'm assuming it was the daily server reset, which I've never really bothered to figure out when it happens for EA, or when it happens for Battlefront, if it's specific to the game. Working slowly on the diorama. Not really caring much about the diorama, but it's just something to knock out. And I do want to point out a misconception that I had for a long time here. But going through, check out the one that I'm closest to. It may wind up popping up while we're doing the stream here, as it slowly loads, and slowly loads, and slowly loads, and slowly loads. Everybody still awake? Okay. All right, so the one that I'm slowly working on here is... Oh, went too far. Is this one here. Be the net kills of his Imperial soldier will knock that one out. And one of the things that I'd said before is that the diorama is pretty much asinine, because they talk about it being, it's this amazing thing that can be your ultimate way of showing how great you are at Battlefront and blah, blah, blah. The ultimate prestige thing, when really it's just a stupid-ass diorama where you're doing things that are the equivalent, basically, of doing, long process trophies that require a lot of grinding. But it turns out that if you find someone, let's find someone who I know actually plays this, maybe. Okay, so for instance, my buddy Jim here. Ah, crap, he's offline. And I just got kicked offline, too. Son of a bitch. This is going to be an interesting day. Alright, so I don't think I have anybody who's actually on and playing listed on here. I'll have to show you, well, I may be able to show you with mine. Let me try mine here. Yes, there we go. Okay, so if you're actually seeing somebody up there who's online in Battlefront rather than being online doing something else, which, like what just happened with Indiana Jim, it will kick me out and say, hey, if you want to see their stats, you have to look them up in the companion app. This is the profile that comes up when you click on someone's name when they're actually playing. It basically gives you their current rank, current XP, total kills, KD ratio, which is kind of pointless in a game like this. This particular, trading kills kind of game. Number of games played, win ratio, time played. Holy shit, I played 60 hours of this game. It really isn't worth 60 hours, but whatever. Total score, total stars on the single-player missions or co-op missions, the base command sieges that you've completed, and then, yes, you actually can see the diorama on the other side. So if I wanted to see Stormtrooper, it's here. If I want to see Luke Skywalker, it's here. Now, it looks like I'm selecting them because when I point to them it's got the little yellow circle around it, but I can't actually select anything, right? It's just showing me which ones that person, in that case me, has acquired. So they are there, but I find that unless I'm going to add somebody to a party or if I'm going to go and pick a partner, I almost never actually look up top. It's not like if I'm playing against somebody, I'm going to check out their profile at some point. I don't even think it's possible to check out their profile, at least not in a regular menu setting like this, unless it's on the loading screen, which we'll see in a moment. So I'm going to jump into, God help me, I'm going to jump into Heroes versus Villains. Reason I'm doing this is to emphasize, not empathize, emphasize some of the issues that Heroes versus Villains is having lately. And presumably, it'll have it this time around as well. Hopefully, I won't wind up having connection issues, but we'll see. It's already been happening quite a bit. The stream had to be restarted initially for lack of being able to connect to the EA servers. So let's see. All right, so Rebel. Now, let's say I wanted to see somebody's info here. I click on that. Nope. Yeah, if I click on a name on here and hit triangle for show player info, it's going to kick me out. Yeah, if I click on a player's name there with triangle, it's going to kick me out, and I'm going to see their PSN profile, not their profile for Battlefront. So you cannot see, as far as I can tell, you have no way to actually see an opposing player or somebody you don't already know and dig up their profile to see which diorama pieces they have. So you can see it for your friends, but I doubt that with your friends you're like, ha, you haven't got Greedo unlocked in the diorama, ha, kind of stuff. It's more just being able to, usually I'm looking at that. If I'm looking at that or somebody else's trophies, I'm kind of curious where somebody stands and how long they've been playing a game, if they're seeming to be tearing through it and that sort of thing. So we're diving into it here with the jump pack, the personal shield, the scattergun, all the upgraded version, and the berserker trait. And a connection that's fading in and out. Notice there I do have about 20k in credits. I'm pretty much just leaving them for the moment. Nope, Stormtrooper. Pretty much just leaving them at the moment because I want to make sure I have at least 17 by the time I do hit level 60 to get that Weequay skin, which is the only level 60 prestige item of any kind
Imperial personnel are your top priority.
From Outer
Don't
Rim.
Forget that.
Alright, so let's run up here and follow the footprints so I don't get stuck on the ground. So this is a traditional game. It is 3-on-3 to whichever team scores 5 wins first. And that does make a difference because apparently they have changed that for Outer Rim as of the patch at the beginning of May. The only patch so far. I don't think I've done a patch notes episode for.
They must not escape. Finish them off.
Oh, are you kidding? Whatever. Wow, we might actually win this one. I doubt it. Once again, the game's spawn points suck. This has happened to me multiple times. I'll wind up spawning on what winds up essentially being the other side of the map.
None remain. Excellent.
Nice to see I was able to help there at the end because I was trying to run my way back to the fight. Now, this one's actually got... Okay, you'll notice... let me grab somebody. So you notice there briefly that it was 6 on one side and it looks like 6 on the other, but one of them is grayed out. This Francisco dude is grayed out. It's because he's not actively in the match and yet part of that team. What will tend to happen sometimes in Heroes versus Villains is it'll be that person's turn to be a hero or villain, but because they're not actually actively playing, they're just somehow on the list still, like maybe they're on the menu screen or some shit. All of a sudden, your team will have one less hero or villain than you're supposed to have, and it's an uneven match. I have played some matches earlier today where my team only ever had 2 heroes or villains because the other side, because my team had 2 people who were just AFK the entire match, just not playing anything at all, but they were still being considered as part of the match for the purposes of deciding who gets to be the hero or villain. so Luke's dead and just faded out like a hologram. It's acting like it must be down below me. And feel free, by the way, feel free to, especially if you're new to this particular stream, feel free to drop in questions, comments, and whatnot in the chat, because this is much more based around the discussion side of things than it is about the gameplay side of things. And hello, Rudolph. I think new to the stream, possibly. And hello, Diego. I know, recognize you from the other day.
One enemy down. Crush the others.
None remain. Excellent.
None remain. All right, so now Francisco looks like he's in, but this sleeper person isn't in. So what's been happening, again, that's one thing that's been happening, is you'll get to this part where it says you'll play as a stormtrooper, right? And somebody else on your team who's been determined to be one of the next heroes or villains will be AFK or something. They'll be grayed out, but it'll still try to give them the hero or villain, which winds up with your team being unbalanced compared to the other team. Or somebody, hello Darren, somebody may not take the time to actually choose a hero or villain, like the match or the round ends and they walk away for a second and come back waiting for it to start. And in that case, what you're left with is, again, one less or two less or however many less heroes or villains than you're supposed to have, because as soon as that timer runs out and hits 0, it locks in whatever's there. So if nobody on if you got 2 heroes picked for your team and somebody else is sitting there twiddling their thumbs and hasn't chosen one, they don't get one, and your team winds up being unbalanced again. You also have instances where somebody will leave a match. They'll leave a match between rounds when it looks like your team's about to lose or whatever, but they'll leave after the system has already determined that they get to be one of the next heroes or villains. The end result, again, your team is unbalanced. Every single game of Heroes vs. Villains that I played earlier today, every single one wound up with at least 2 rounds that were unbalanced, and that through the entire game. Every single time. It's asinine. Heroes vs. Villains is now broken because of the way that it determines who's going to be the hero. If you're in the middle of a match, or in between rounds like this, and let's say 2 of these guys drop out who are supposed to be heroes or villains, then it needs to, since it's still between matches, to throw that to somebody else. But it doesn't. Instead, your team just winds up screwed. Like, if within 15 seconds we don't get the other person on our team to choose a villain, yeah, so we got 2 of us have chosen, 1 of us hasn't, of the 3 with the symbols. 4, 3, 2, here we go, 1. Boom, we're locked in. Our team is at a disadvantage because one of the guys chose to sit on his ass and not choose a hero or villain. It is now 2 on 3, which makes it, in this case, what, a third easier for the other team to win this round than for us to win it, because we got to take out 3, they've got to take out 2. Because somebody couldn't get off his butt and choose. Yeah. All right. So, good to see you there, Rudolph. Very cool to see that you just picked up Battlefront. I'm curious, what platform did you pick it up on? And Diego, very awesome. That's actually what Michael Morris, the other Cloud City Casino guy, got when the time came around, because he didn't have a PS4 yet, so he picked up the Darth Vader PS4. I didn't, but I do have one Star Wars themed console. Back in the day, I bought the Kinect Star Wars Xbox 360 bundle. So I've got the R2D2, basically an R2D2 themed Xbox 360 that makes the sounds, and then it's a C3PO themed controller, although not a great controller. It's C3PO themed, but it's not a particularly cool C3PO theme for that one. No, you will die. No, I will die. Diego, does Boba Fett have the same armor as Jango Fett, just painted? Depends on which continuity you're looking at. In Legends, some parts were, other parts weren't by the time we actually get a chance to really see him. We don't really know for certain in canon. In Legends, they've written it off as the helmet, the Jango Fett helmet that blew up in the Season 2 final arc of Clone Wars wasn't actually Jango's. It was like a spare, or it was one that just looked like it, so that Jango's helmet still becomes a piece of armor that's eventually worn by Boba. But in canon, the assumption is that, yes, that actually was Jango Fett's helmet, so it's definitely not Jango's helmet that Boba's wearing in canon at this point. But again, it entirely depends on which continuity you're looking at, which of the two major ones, I guess. I mean, technically there's a bunch of other continuities, but they're all minor stuff like Tag and Bink and Infinities and so on. Very cool. Yeah, Lego Lover, I had completely forgotten the fact that I had done an unboxing of that. That was one of the very first videos that I did with any regularity. I did a couple of unboxings and some reviews to tie into the EU review podcast that I used to do with Andrew Loopy, and that was back in that era. Cool. All right. Follow the red. Follow the red. Follow the red. Hopefully you'll get there before everybody's dead. Oh, nope. Almost there. Again, this game's spawn points on some modes are absolutely moronic.
Now target those remaining.
You could spend half the match just running back, trying to get a chance to actually play against someone. Alright, now I'm just chasing after that one guy. Where are you at, you rebel scum? I'm going to have to deal with some of that before we move. They finally moved our house closing to a new day as opposed to just sometime. But before we move, we will have to be dealing with some rebel scum when we clean out the bathtub, I think. You rebel scum. And by rebel, I mean, you know, soap.
One has been lost to us.
JL, how are you stuck at the very beginning of the game? Like, what is happening? Like, if you have any details you can provide. I'm not sure that I'd be able to help, but I can certainly try. Die, Han Solo, you rebel dog! We gotta kill... Okay, so I say, we gotta kill Han Solo before they can kill Vader. Now, let's see. Are we gonna see the same thing happen again? Right, yeah, it's 4-1. Usually when it's... Yeah, see, okay, now just Josh and you is gonna be on his way, presumably... Fine, I'll be Palpy again. On his way into the match. Or sitting on the loading screen. Or in the process of loading. At which point, he can't do anything. Or isn't doing anything. Now he's in. But if it was his turn, if it was going to make it his turn to choose a hero, the heroes would be down by 1. Now we're not. Why do my feet keep sticking? It's because of my orthopedic shoes, isn't it? Lord Vader, bring me Dr. Scholes. Whee! Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and drop some health up here for you guys and just kind of stay out the way. Because Palpatine's not that good of a killing force, but he's decent as far as being able to provide some support. He's kind of the Leia, except not as good. Which is pretty sad when I'm referring to Leia as a good character for heroes versus villains. Because not a big fan of Leia's role in this game mode. Oh, you mother... You Jedi mother...
You're mine.
I'll tell your daddy on you, you rebel scum. Come on, put out the fucking health! I am a Jedi like my father before me. Damn! Smoking us this round. Seeking the Empire probe droid. Okay, so what's happening when you're doing... So I'm assuming that when you go in, it's pushing you into the initial tutorial, which is the probe droid thing, I would figure, based on what it sounds like. So... Okay, I'm going to be a stormtrooper this time. So... Like, what's happening with that? Like, are you having trouble getting through it? Or is it freezing? Or is it not loading? I mean, the idea is that you just go and you take out whatever it is using whatever they're telling you to do. Though I honestly forget what that is offhand. I can go to the Pro Droid thing, though. You can replay that initial tutorial on here. So I can pull that up at some point if you want. Uh-oh. And our team gets one villain... Because whoever the hell was supposed to choose their villains didn't bother to choose their villains. So, Wonderful.
Ensure that the rebels don't harm our
3 to
essential personnel.
1. I wonder which side's going to win this match. Again, Heroes versus Villains is now inherently broken because of how it handles distribution of heroes and villains. Every fucking match that I've played of Heroes versus Villains recently winds up like this. Not just today being the most egregious situation because of how many I've played, but every single time this happens. To one side or the other. I just want to get through this, get one more victory, or one more round one for our side, so I can get the one more victory for this, for that challenge, and be done with it, and leave Heroes versus Villains. I used to love this mode. This used to be the mode that I would play when I was playing this game. Constantly. It was always Heroes versus Villains, because I liked the variety of it. Now it is more frustrating probably than Hero Hunt, and Hero Hunt drives me nuts. The fact that I've reached a point where I'd say I'd rather play Droid Run than Heroes versus Villains says something. Because it's broken. Come and get it, you rebel mother... Is there an instant action mode? No. Well, I mean, on the menu, you choose whatever type of mode you want to go into, or you can choose a mode based on the number of characters. Oh, killed somebody from long range. Oh, nutsack. Here we go. Hello? Oh, there he is. I was like, well, how is there somebody on that edge? Hello, Creepinator. Hey, cool. Creepinator's in the stream this time. All right, awesome. Finally. Ta-da. But, of course, there's two of them that have already either left or are inactive on the other team. So, yes, Heroes versus Villains is now a mess. A complete mess. So when you got a challenge that requires Heroes versus Villains or paying credits to switch to a different challenge, kind of sucks. All right, so creeping our way towards that elusive 80K or 8,000 credits, as the case may be, that will wrap up the grinding this time. At least the grinding as far as XP. I'll still have to keep grinding for credits because I still have quite a few star cards to upgrade. All right, and okay, now let's get the hell out of Heroes versus Villains because it's broken. To see what my new challenges that replaced it, I didn't bother to look. The daily ones are done, but that did just pop up the whole, you had won 3 Heroes versus Villain matches, 2 today, and then 1 probably a week or 2 ago, whenever it finally first popped up. All right, so for the question that was asked by JL about whether or not there is an instant action mode, the closest things to an instant action mode are this, or this. In that 40-player modes, when you click that, it will throw you into either Supremacy, Walker Assault, or Turning Point. And it's going to keep you in that playlist once you're there. But it finds the one that needs a player. Then 12-player modes, same kind of thing. Whoa, I didn't want to actually go to it, but what it's going to throw you into is either Drop Zone, Cargo, Droid Run, Hero Hunt, or Heroes versus Villains. None of those will drop you into Blast because there's 20. None of them will drop you into Fighter Squadron because they're 20. Or you can go to Hero Modes, which will throw you into... Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Hero Hunt and Heroes vs. Villains actually count for this one. Hero Modes will throw you into a mode that allows the heroes, right? So we're talking like Hero Hunt, we're talking Heroes vs. Villains, etc. Now, Outer Rim works differently. You click on Outer Rim, you go straight to an Outer Rim playlist mode. And instead of staying in that mode once you do a couple of matches, it will rotate you through different types. Although in the patch from earlier in May, if you feel like you're seeing way more extraction than anything else in Outer Rim, yes, you are. They changed it so that basically, I think they said now it's like 75% of the matches are extraction. People were leaving the Outer Rim playlist on modes that weren't extraction, so they basically have upped the percentage of extraction. So 2 matches back-to-back of the same types, and now you will see extraction 75% of the time within those 2 match blocks, which is asinine. And yes, I own a PS Vita. Yes, I've done remote play with it. It's not great, but it works well enough. The problem with the Vita and remote play is the way you have to do all of the activations for your star cards. Well, not all of them, but your activations for your star cards and your power-up, which generally are going to be L1, R1, are back touchpad. So it's R1, L1, or click both to activate the power, which is a pain. Plus, in order to run, I want to say it's down on the D-pad, I forget, but basically you can't run by just clicking because obviously the sticks on the Vita don't click down. So, yes. All right. All right, so I'm just going to jump into... God, what was that challenge that replaced it? 25 targeting rifle kills. So I got to do blaster rifle and charges. So, yeah, I'm just going to jump into something Outer Rim, so it'll throw me somewhere. XZ, I think you've asked this question before. My answer is no. Since TFA had a lot of story and plots from A New Hope, could it be considered a ripoff? A ripoff assumes that it was done with malicious intent in general. And usually done by something other than those with the license to the original product. And J.J. Abrams has said repeatedly now that in relationship to between A New Hope and The Force Awakens, he purposely used certain story beats from A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back and a little bit of Return of the Jedi, specifically because they wanted to make it instantly recognizable as Star Wars and instantly get back the feel of Star Wars as going into this new trilogy, and that essentially formed the framework upon which the rest of the story was hung. So that said, I would not say it's a ripoff. I would say there are heavy parallels, but parallels in a stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3 type of thing, the way that Lucas referred to the films as poetry or music. All right, so press to join, and it's cargo. Yay! Okay. Already down by 1. Both packages are in motion. Do I care? Not really, because my challenges are all about weapon kills and using charges. So, here's a charge.
The rebels have secured their cargo.
I killed someone even when in a shield. That's lame. If they do episodes 10, 11, 12, could they have the Yu Zhangbang as villains? I highly doubt it, because they probably won't be bringing anything more from... Like, something like that is that recognizable, chances are they wouldn't bring that over from Legends. It's just very recognizable, and people would be expecting them to follow a similar story path. How do you activate it outside your house? I have no idea. I've never actually tried it outside of the same network. I think for that... Oh, no. I'd say I think for that you may need the cell connection Vita, but I mean, I've got that. I just don't ever use it, so I've never, I've never paid for the AT&T connection. I'm honestly not sure. I haven't tried it.
Our cargo is back in Imperial hands.
Dang! Big boom behind me.
The rebels have the cargo. Stop them.
Usually when there's a big boom behind me, it's because of what I had for dinner. Favorite item in the Star Wars home video clip. See, you got me killed. But that's what I'm gonna look like when I finally hit my level 60. Favorite item in my Star Wars home video collection. I honestly would have to go and look. I think the coolest one is the Executor box set from the UK, because it's just got some awesome content in it. You've got the films. You've got all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. You've got documentary materials on a separate tape. You've got the scripts in there. You've got art prints, all kinds of cool stuff. Of course, being in the U.S. and not having a PAL player or a converter for the electric connection that you would need for something like that, I can look at it and enjoy the stuff that's in the box, but not watch the films off of those particular tapes. What the?
No!
Poor guy. Dead. It just fires too slow for me. I don't like that, but I don't like the E11 very much either, and its blaster rifle requirements for this challenge. I dig that. I mean, I said I have to really go back and take a look. I mean, I like having the old laser discs and VHS. I'm pretty stoked to finally have all the Japanese Special Collection laser discs that were the first time they ever did first time they ever did any form of widescreen at all on home video before it ever got to the US. I tend to like them because of their teachable aspects, right? Because I like discussing them and showing the collection and talking about the elements from it. And those make for some interesting conversation. And the notorious Twill comes on and acts like a dick, and the first thing that he says is, "Hey, check out my channel." That is bad form to do, especially when it is the first thing that you say when entering someone else's channel or stream. In case you were not aware of that and simply did not understand the way that manners work on things like this. And hello, Dalton. Let's see. And JL, I did not digitize them just because I can just pop in the disc and watch them.
If another cargo box falls into rebel hands,
I've gone through and I've digitized, though, all the different versions on VHS prior to that. So basically, like the original version of the original home video version, right from '82 of A New Hope. The 1997 version of the special editions, as opposed to the ones that eventually came out on DVD in 2004, and then on Blu-ray in 2011 that were different, and so on. That sort of thing. Alright. And we're losing badly. But I came in when we were losing a little bit, at least. Basically working on some challenges and slowly grinding up to 60. So I can finally be a weak way. You gotta, like, return it, guys. You got when it falls down. There we go. That is better. That is certainly a far more polite way of doing it than most people that I've seen. Especially usually once I make the comment about it. Usually people just act like shitheads. So thank you for being actually cordial. Alright. Where am I on those kills? I am so tired of using blaster rifles. I don't like them. And this thing is... It was falling off my ear and it was like pulling my ear down. Alright. Die, you 9-numb wannabe! I always thought it was funny that you have a character in Star Wars named 10-numb, right? So 9-numb, 10-numb. So at some point there needs to be like an 11-numb somewhere. Oh! Wow, somebody actually killed with barrage. I haven't seen barrage in use very much lately. Star Wars characters? Depends if you're talking Legends or canon. So clarify, and we'll go from down. Shot in the back. Are you shooting at me? Don't be an a-hole.
We have the cargo. Deliver it to our base.
Go. What do I got? What do I got? Oh, I got a freaking disruptor rifle. Good. Wonderful. Don't like it. And Notorious, I do not add people while we are playing, while the stream is going. We actually had an instance today where somebody who follows a stream that I friended when they sent the friend request on PSN a while back, who broke sort of the thing that I've said repeatedly on the streams not to do, which was sent me 6 requests within the span of about 7 minutes. absolutely the easiest way to have somebody dropped off of my friends list and blocked. I didn't yet. Just waiting. And it's Darth_Soul. You're welcome to add me, and at some point, if I'm not streaming, I usually will accept those if I'm able, though a lot of times I'm not on mic when I'm just playing to play. Let's see. Just order the 2004. Jimmy, just take it down somewhere. Darth_Soul. Just order the two. Yeah. I'll tell you the 2000. Which 2004 set was it? The silver or the gold or the platinum? I guess they don't call it silver for that one anymore. So widescreen or full screen of 2004, and by Phantom Menace clamshell, I guess you're meaning that Toys R Us version, or are you talking about one that was outside the U.S. where the clamshell is the norm? I'm assuming you meant the clamshell from Toys R Us, which is just not pretty. I mean, it's neat to have because it's unusual, but that is an ugly clamshell case. All right, what are we doing? Oh, okay, extraction. I was like, what mode are we even doing? Hello, Bandit Brothers? Or Bandit Brother, as the case may be. We shall see. Oh, turn on the shield! Starting up the shield! Sweet, yes. Love that Toys R Us one just because of its weird factor. But that's about the only reason I love it. You know what? I don't even want to get the hero power up because I need to get these stupid blaster rifle kills so I can switch off a blaster rifle. There we go. All right, so I'll address that after the stream's done with. Very cool. Welcome, Lena. And open! Oh God, no! I was like running up to the doors and just waiting to see what people do. A lot of times what I'll find is people stand next to me and start shooting the door too. In that case, it was someone from the other team, so they actually shot me while I was standing there. But people are always like, wait, is this supposed to open? I'm so confused. And, all right. Now see, that I don't have. I don't have the lenticular card on top of it. I've just got the clamshell itself. Kind of like I've got a couple of the I guess they were the re-released 2010, 2011-ish Clone Wars season sets where I don't have the slipcases for all of them. I just, like the cardboard slipcase, I just have the regular packaging. Because I bought them used, and a lot of times when you get those used, they won't have, in the case of that one, they won't have the card. And in the case of the other, it wouldn't have the, it sucked. It won't have the slipcase. Trying to do too much at once. There we go, and hanging a left. Shot you in the nuts, I'm pretty sure. Poor guys. It'd be interesting if you had extra resistance from headshots if you wore a helmet. You know what I mean? Because you got all these different character models that are basically just heads, and the body you can't control. And some of them have helmets, some of them don't. And you got like stormtroopers running around with their helmets off in a battle zone, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know. Of course, if they did do something like that, I'm sure that I'd be bitching about how there's hardly any customization, and now that we can do customization, it's just changing the heads, and they make it so that you die faster, so why would you want to? I'm sure I'd be bitching about that, so. I'm just saying, it'd be an interesting game mechanic to introduce. Into, as Angry Joe called it, Battlefront EA. Right, it's not just Battlefront, it's Battlefront EA, as you see on the title screen.
Just arrived. We're in control of the shipment. Stay close to it.
Schmack by Sithermeister. He's the Sithermeister. He's the... no, that's Sithinator. If, by the way, you have not seen the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special, do so. It's actually funny, and it's not funny in a let's just be crude for crudeness' sake like the Family Guy ones where it sucks so bad. Robot Chicken ones? Good. Phineas and Ferb one? Good. Family Guy? Sucked ass. incoming? No? Yes, no? No? Favorite grenade on this? If we're not allowed to use the thermal imploder, which is an absolute favorite, but it's a power-up. I tend to go for either the impact grenade because of it exploding on impact as opposed to having the delay, or actually for zone control, I kind of like. Believe it or not, I actually like the Dioxis grenade for zone control now. Now that I've done all of those challenges to get the two different versions, the regular and the upgraded one, I find it is kind of useful. Particularly when you're playing a mode like this, if you want to keep the other team from being able to easily get to the shipment and restart it, wait till they're closing in on it and drop a Dioxis grenade right where it is. Let's see. Always find it interesting how every Star Wars release from 97 to 2008, they always had that THX mastered thing on the bottom of the cover. Yeah. Well, I mean, technically they are. I mean, the THX mastering process was part of the whole thing from about 1993 onward, right? Because 93 was when they did the remastering for the Definitive Collection Laserdisc set, and then, of course, they released that version on VHS in 95, and that stuff just kind of carried on forward. I think it got to a point, though, where the digital mastering wasn't, like, it wasn't the THX process. They were using some other process for it, so they eventually dropped the logo. That, or maybe they used the same process. Maybe there just wasn't a requirement to have it on there. Bow. And he's dead already. Love me some thermal imploder. That one didn't work so well. What's wrong with your droid? Something wrong with your droid? No, it's fine. Oh, and the Clone Wars Blu-ray with the lenticular thing. Yeah, it looks all right. Kind of tough to take still pictures of. But yeah, it looks pretty well. I actually did a thing on Facebook recently, speaking of still pictures. I took a picture of... I took a picture of, like, all of my copies of each film laid out as separate pictures and put them into, like, a banner that basically has each film as a separate slot. And it's got, like, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Ewok films, Ewok show, Droid show, Clone Wars, The Clone Wars, Lego Star Wars, Rebels, all as different images, all as one bigger rectangular picture. So I finally got an actual photo, or set of photos, of pretty much the entire collection. I don't think I've added anything to it since I took the pictures. The last thing I added was the Empire Special Collection Japanese Laserdisc from '86. And that one I know is in the picture. Because I redid the Empire picture to do it. Dang! Die! Nope. Kill by P-Donuts. P-Donuts. Alright, start the shipment. Where's the shipment? Oh, shipment's this way. Alright.
The objective is in motion. Not long to go now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, see, they just dropped the Dioxis grenade, so anybody who's going to go in there and try to restart it is liable to croak.
Watch out for Imperials.
Ah! Killed by the same thing I was trying to kill him with, but I only got in one hit on him.
We need that shipment moving toward the target area right now.
Why are you telling me that we need the shipment moving? There's a whole other team of people doing nothing. Granted, I'm at the bottom because I'm not entirely focused, but still.
This place is crawling with
There's actually, yeah. Let's see. I fell down this earlier. I'm curious if there is a way to... No. I'm curious if there's a way to, like, use your jump pack and actually go back up the trap door. But either apparently not, or I just botched it, so not in my case. Power up, man! What the? Did I not just walk over the power up? It's nice to see that at least in this game, when you do have stormtroopers that are women, they actually do something, as opposed to Captain Phasma. Don't you talk bad about Captain Phasma. She'll come kick your ass because she's like 8 foot tall. Hi, guys. They're all like, ooh, he almost made it. Oh! No, angled wrong. All right, whatever. Don't shoot me, you fucknut. Oh, why his problem is. And up the stairs and to your doom. Oh! Please. Please. There! Finally! Yes! I can get away from the blaster rifles and go to... I think it's targeting rifles is the next one that I have a challenge for. I am Pumbaa 69. One, it's just you can tell how immature someone is by whether or not they feel the need to put a 69 into the number of any username they create. So yes, we have I am Pumbaa 69, and it scares me to think about Pumbaa trying to do that because I think he would probably be trying to do it with Timon, and then you have a really, really bad Lion King episode right there. Let's try it again. Straight up, straight up. Nope, because it angles me forward. Okay. And around the corner. Favorite lightsaber from the films? I'm probably going to just go with my default, which is the only one that I've got a replica of, which is what we think of as sort of the Anakin saber, or the saber that features so prominently in Episode 7, simply because it's got the most storied history, right? I mean, it goes from... It's a replacement for Anakin's lightsaber, which is like the second or third that he's had. He loses it on Mustafar, and Obi-Wan takes it. He winds up making it into Luke's hands. And in canon, at least, it winds up being recovered, winds up in the hands of Maz Kanata, winds up in the hands of Rey, is also used by Finn. In fact, it's used by Finn more times than it's used by Rey. It's used by Finn twice, by Rey once. And then, of course, you know, we see it at the end of the film. And then you have, in Legends, it winds up in the hands of Mara Jade at the end of the Thrawn trilogy, and she uses that interchangeably for a while with her purple saber from being the Emperor's hand and all. So, I mean, there's plenty of instances where it has significance, so I would go with that one. There we go. Have I seen yesterday's episode of Star Wars? Actually, I haven't watched any of Star Wars show yet. It's sitting there on my to-do list to eventually watch, but I haven't checked out any of them yet. Because at first I wasn't clear on what it was when people were asking me about it, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's an official thing. In that case, then yeah, I'll check it out. Dead. All right, let me see. Yeah, it's targeting rifles, and I'm getting smoked, but it's not like I really want to use any of these targeting rifles. I'll try to use the super sniper one again. Just means that if I miss, I'm screwed. Again, JL, I'm not adding. If you see me on the friends list and you're able to do a join match, if there's an empty space at some point, you know, feel free. But I don't add with the party chat, and don't add, and you can't, which means you can't add to the party in general while playing. Let's see. I mean, technically it's not. It's sort of rightfully raised if the Force is calling her to it. Come on, freaking heal! Not wanting to heal, just wanting to stand there hurt. Oh look, it's oh yeah, I do need to use more charges. I forgot, one of my other challenges is to use 30 charges. So I'll just start using the shield for no reason. Yeah. I don't tend, for what it's worth, I do not tend to follow a lot of the rumors and whatnot of the new films, because just like with the prequels, a lot of the rumors from Episode 7 wound up being completely bogus. And people were making a huge deal about a lot of stuff that had no basis in reality. Okay, not going to use this one because I'm not doing jack with it. Let's see. It's targeting rifle. We got the Relby. We got the T21B, and I think that's it for options for a targeting rifle. I like the T21B. I used to swear by the T21B, but I've gotten out of practice of using the rapid tap as opposed to rapid fire guns. There we go. There's a kill with it. Probably going to get killed while I'm checking, but at least I'm at 2 out of 25. It's a start, and I'm still working my way towards 60 anyway. Alright, here we are. So, yeah. Crap for score, but whatever. Let's see let me see what the actual XP numbers are at this point. I don't care about most of the stuff they show me on these screens. Alright, so we're at almost halfway. Almost halfway to the 60 mark. Or I guess less than 1/60th of the way. If we're going by the whole span of things, but between 59 and 60, almost half. All right, so it's 75 kills, 25 targeting rifle kills, and 30 charges. Those shouldn't actually be too bad, except maybe the targeting rifle kills, just because I'm so out of practice with the T21B. But, okay, why not? Hello, I don't know if I should call you crazy, young, or kid, but hello. Or thee, technically. All right. Here we go. Extraction again, this time as the Empire.
I have a really bad feeling about
I did switch the emotes finally, by the way, so that's one of them now, and I've still got the and the no for the end of a bad
away
match.
from the shipment to prevent it being extracted.
They really don't need this much time for a match to start, do they? They have updated some of the times on a couple of modes as far as how long it takes. Hey guys, no. How long it takes for a match to start. I could have sworn I just saw. There it is. Exactly. I could have sworn I just saw a charge over here. I could collect. They've changed some of them, but it still seems like it takes a long time between matches in this game. Eat it! And yes, I did just instinctively fire at your crotch. All right, let's change it up just a little bit here, and let's go to first-person mode. I hardly ever play first-person on this. I prefer third, but hey, why not? There you go. Arda, as in that's a Star Wars location for what it's worth. That's the one of the new RPGs. Well, not new, but one of the recent Fantasy Flight Games RPGs. It's like Assault at Arda 1 or Attack at Arda 1 or something. It's been a while. Something. La-di-da. Whoa! I will shoot you in the face! Granted, I was killed by Leia, but I still shot him in the face, so at least I adhered to my promise. I will keep my promise or die trying. Oh, too late. Already did. Stop shooting at us! Actually, let me take that back. I said Dioxis is my favorite of the grenades. It might actually be Back to Bomb. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that there is the healing one. The healing one is pretty useful. So it depends on if you're talking about in general or offensive. Offensive, I like the Dioxis grenade, but overall, probably Back to Bomb is the favorite, come to think of it. Am I waiting for the Bestman DLC? Yes, I am waiting with bated breath for them to finally put out the next DLC. because I'm kind of in that mode where it's like I play because I'm streaming, and I play to just grind to try to get to the 60 mark. But I've done all the HUT contracts at this point. There is nothing but just jumping on and doing daily challenges and grinding for me to do anymore. And that makes me very reluctant to play. So really, it's the streaming that keeps me playing. But when Outer Rim first came out, I played quite a bit because I just enjoyed Outer Rim. Hopefully it'll be the same with Bespin. Don't you shoot my little green buddy! You're not Han Solo. You don't get to shoot first, mother... There we go. Running, 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 running.
This princess has caused us a great deal of trouble.
But yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of specifics about, what's his name? About, Dengar and Lando, other than the fact that they are the heroes for it. And yes, I can see Stephanie, so welcome. Could I do the missions? I'll do missions, but I'm not going to do missions until I'm done grinding, because the missions do absolutely nothing for you if you're trying to get XP, or really in many cases credits, because you can only get each star once if you're trying to get credits to spend on upgrades. How that didn't kill him. Which game am I in? Right now I'm in Extraction in Outer Rim. Of course, I guess that kind of goes without saying because Extraction is the only one. But yeah, I wish the missions... That's one of the things I wish they would do. If they would take the missions and allow them to be worth XP. Allow them to give you more credits than just getting the stars once. Or just make it so you can get the stars more than once. Do something to make the missions more worthwhile to play. Because once you've done it just a tiny bit, the missions and the battles are pretty much worthless. Unless you've unlocked literally everything already and just have nothing else to do. Which is sucky. I actually, yeah, I much prefer the DH-17 most of the time when I'm playing with it. I'll be using either the first, I forget what the first one's called, but that first heavy blaster or the DH-17 most of the time lately. The T-21B is what I swore by for a while, but as you can see, I'm not in the practice of it anymore. So, am I in mission battles? No. Mission is one player or co-op. Or two-player co-op, and the battles are where it's like one side versus another, one player leading each side. This is under multiplayer. This is a multiplayer Outer Rim DLC. You'd have to go to the playlist at the bottom to find it. But it shouldn't matter because you should be able to just, if I'm on the friends list, you should be able to just pull me up at the top and try to hit join game. And I'm always fine with people hitting join game to join it. I'm not good with people sending the party requests during the streams because it's just... If I were to jump to try to accept a message or accept a party request, even if it was a practical thing to do from a stream standpoint, it would make it so that you guys wouldn't be able to see anything. You'd just be able to hear, and sometimes not even that. Defeat. Here, JL, I'll show you what I mean, if it's not clear. 313. And only 421 scores, so I'm getting like 42 credits out of this. Actually, no, I'll probably get more. That's a game score. I should get more than that out of the like just the game score kind of stuff, I would assume. Yeah, there's my combat score. Game bonus is 1,000. And the game bonus. Let me wait till I get to that menu, and then I'll jump out of this because I don't want to be in a situation where it might get stuck on the loading screen. One thing that is worth mentioning, and they've changed it, so I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head what they are anymore, but each different type of match has a different game bonus, which is just the, hey, thanks for playing score. They used to range, at least, all the way up to 2,000 points or 200 credits simply for playing a match of, I think it was Supremacy or Walker Assault. But now, not as much. Okay, So what I was, JL, what I meant was, okay, so if you're in the menu, you're going to, what I was playing was to go to multiplayer and go to Outer Rim and click on that, and it just threw me into a match. Whereas, and the way this will work, again, if you jump into any of these modes, it'll jump you into a type of match and just keep you in that no matter how many matches you play. If you go to Outer Rim, it will drop you into a match of a particular type, but after there are 2 matches of that type played in rotation, it will jump you to something else for 2 matches, then something else for 2 matches, but it is 75% extraction based on their most recent patch notes at this point. If you want to just join a game with somebody, you would go up here and you would simply click on name, and if they're playing, you can do the invite to party, but it should, oh, damn it, here we go again. It should allow you to join game. At least it has in the past, unless this is another thing they've tweaked. I haven't done it very often. And we're trying to connect again to EA servers. There we go. We are back to it. Yeah, anyway. All right, what character would I like to see in the game if we're pulling from this era? I actually would really like to see one of the characters from Rogue One show up. I think it'd be a great way to cross-promote this game with the upcoming film. Give us the character ahead of time with some intriguing lines if you press the emotes, but don't give us any background on the character, and that'll get people interested. And then when we see the film, we'll be like, I've played as him, yeah, you know, and draw people in. And then we'll come back and play and have that background in mind and be able to kind of keep playing through. I'd like to think they'd be doing that with maybe the Death Star expansions. It's supposed to be coming in fall before the movie comes out, but I'm afraid that they're going to wait and they're going to push that type of thing out in Expansion Pack 4, if at all, in which case you're basically in a situation where we already know the character before we would see them in the game. Seeding things early is something that they used to like to do a lot with Star Wars. They did that with, the Boba Fett figure that was a mail away back in the day. The exclusive Mace Windu figure for Episode 1 that you could get way before the film came out that you had to mail away for, and so on. But they don't tend to do that as much anymore. All right, so let me check where I'm standing here on the challenges. 75 kills, I'm at 3. Yeah, I sucked. 30 charges, got 11 more to go, and 20 more targeting rifle kills. I kind of feel like I'm going to switch to the Relby. Michael, my partner on Cloud City Casino, really, let's go to 40, really, really loves the Relby. And I've not really been a big fan of the Relby yet. So maybe I can give it a shot. Hey, Andrew! For those who are not aware, Andrew is one of the long ago Star Wars podcasting gentlemen. Had a series called Star Wars in the Beginning back in the day, which I was privileged to be an interview participant on. Back in the day. Way back in the day. I've been podcasting since 2002, so I'm at like 14 years plus now. Next May is going to be my 15th anniversary podcasting, which is just insane. To even think that podcasting has existed that long. Even though we didn't call it, technically, we didn't call it podcasting back then, though. We just called it internet-based radio shows or internet shows and that sort of thing. It took a couple years for the idea of the pod-catching software to catch on and the XML feeds and all that. What? Okay. Way back in the... Yeah. It was a long time ago. I revitalized Chrono Radio for a while, but learned of us as Chrono Radio Volume 2, and it was alright. It wasn't great. I think I much prefer if it's just going to be me with Star Wars commentary, doing it as a stream or doing a vlog or doing a video show as opposed to it being audio anymore. And it helps that I much prefer the audio editing, or the video editing process to the audio editing process. Videos, I trip up my words, I say, I don't care. I'm only cutting out the real flubs. If it's audio, I'm trying to, take out the uhs and stuff, and it just takes forever. A 1 hour audio file takes about 3 hours to actually go through and edit. Dang, people! This is a loud batch of players here. Holy crap. And it is going well. If you're asking me, or if you're asking everybody else, then hopefully they'll tell you. Actually, a decent day here. For those who've been following the stream for a while, you may know that my wife and I are trying to close on a house. That's why there actually hasn't been recent vlog entries and stuff like that, because the place where I would be recording is filled up with stuff. So I can do streams, and I can do episodes of just like the quick breakdowns of Fantasy Flight Games materials as they come out. Good jetpack. Which I can just do on a table, but from the standpoint of like the place where I would usually record, I can't do it. So we were supposed to close on the 27th. One of the two sellers was out of town like a jackass, didn't bother to get his stuff taken care of before he left, so we couldn't close like we were supposed to and move on Memorial Day weekend. So we're in the apartment here for more time. Not happy about that, but whatever. But they just confirmed this morning that we are going to be closing at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. So hopefully by end of next week, we'll be at least partially moved into the place. And hopefully within about a week after that, we'll have moved enough to actually move everything, all the biggest stuff over, and I can start streaming from there. So it was good news earlier today, which is nice. Downside being that in order to take care of house stuff and stuff to get ready for our summer school session for the online teaching, of which I'm heading up the social studies department, basically, I had to miss a meeting today at Emory University that I'm going to need to go back and get all the handouts and files from and probably catch up on some work sometime next week. But, yeah, it's allowed me to be here and do some streaming, so it wasn't all bad. It made for an odd day.
Ah! He's trying to shoot me! He shot me.
I think the decision, by the way, I was asking on a stream a while back about what I should do as far as the Star Wars room. We're going to have a room that's basically a Star Wars room meets office. At least that's the plan. And I was having to put my Star Wars home video shelves, which are about 5 feet, versus my Star Wars bookshelves that are about 9 to 10 feet against the back wall of that room as the backdrop of my recording. If I'm recording in there, what should I do? And the consensus seemed to have been the books, because it'd be a consistent background across the entire back. So that is what we're going to go with. I don't know for sure if that's going to be the room I record in or not. I need to actually get in there once we close and do some measuring of the exact dimensions of the room to figure out like what kind of desk can fit in there and all that kind of stuff. But soon, very soon.
Commander Skywalker is on the way.
8 blaster bolts! Oh! Shot through the shield! Which doesn't appear to even be there anymore. What the crap? Not a big fan of Supremacy mode, but if I remember correctly, it gives you a decent game bonus score at the end. And release that! Release it, release it, release it! There we go. Oh, what the heck? Wait a second. Did I choose that? Wait. Did I choose this weapon, or did it just default back to what I had the last time I was a rebel? Because I was trying to play with the Relby, which I didn't choose, I don't think, or the T-21B, which was the last thing that I thought I'd chosen. In the words of the trash collector guy at the beginning of Terminator, what the hell? Let's try that with what I actually was going for. Let's go with the Relby this time. Do not like the fact that it's not automatic, but yeah. You're trying to connect the Vita how? You're trying to connect it on the same network, or you're trying to connect it from being away from home? Because if you're away from the same network, I can't help you. I have no idea. If you're on the same network, and you're very close to the device, weird. I would suggest don't connect via your network. See if you can connect directly to the Vita. Between the Vita and the PS4. And if that works, stay with that. If you can't get that to connect, you're going to be stuck relying on the Wi-Fi connection, the regular Wi-Fi connection. I find that it's not a great remote play option because it's already it's already kind of a heavy load to be able to play an online multiplayer game in the first place. I tend to think remote play usually works better when you're playing like the missions where it's not dragging. It's the same thing here. Like if I'm trying to play this and stream, I'll frequently get lag issues. But if I'm playing when I'm not streaming, I don't have the same issues. Why? Because it's not trying to stream this and do the multiplayer connection for the game at the same time. Let's see. And hello, Jay. Oh, son of a bitch. Do I think that Luke and Rey will rebuild the new Jedi Order? I rebuild something. How much is kind of left to be seen. I'm gonna stick with. Nah, I'll stick with it. I'm not liking it so far.
We need to launch a
Not seeing what
counteroffensive. The
Michael
Imperials
sees in it,
have
but I'll
control
stick with
of
it for the moment.
battlefield.
This actually would probably probably be a good map to do that sniper one. So let me try that one again. The DLT-19X. DLT-19, little damage, super rate of fire. I like it as a heavy blaster. DLT-19X, the opposite. Crappy rate of fire, crappy cooling power, insane range, insane damage because it is basically a one-shot wonder. You shoot, you hit, you do a lot of damage. You shoot, you hit, and you don't kill them, you're screwed because you got a while before you can shoot again.
The Imps have pushed through and taken a control point.
Gonna help take out that infantry turret over there. Ah! That is shooting at. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, missed. There's no way that even if I hadn't just gotten killed, I would have been able to turn and attack fast enough. Yep. You still, it sucks because you still, at range, you still almost need headshots to be able to pull it off. Whereas in a lot of games, if you have a super-powered weapon or like an actual sniper rifle, a chest shot will usually still take them down. Not so much with this one. So we're going back to the tried and true. Because I still got to kill 19 more to get that challenge done. Open! Or in the words of Ultra Magnus, open. Damn it, open. Keep getting air saying the internet connection is currently not strong enough. Yeah, the internet connection needs to be insanely strong on both ends for that connection in order for it to work. Like, I've said this before, I've got what used to be the highest speed that AT&T Uverse would offer. Now I think they have 1 or 2 levels above it. I'd have to check the ping and everything to see. But generally, I get that error pretty often. Not when I was on my previous speed. Now that I'm at that thing that used to be the highest, I still get it fairly often, though not constantly. And it depends on the game that I'm playing, whether it's constantly kicking me off or not. I do have to be within pretty close range to the signal as well. So I would suggest being close to the source, or trying the direct to PS4 connection and being close to the PS4. But in that case, what you're basically doing is, instead of being able to remote play from a longer distance, you're essentially being able to use the Vita the way that the Wii U uses the gamepad. You're just able to play on a small screen without taking up the TV, but you're still in the same room, you're still close, you're not able to make it actually portable. There he is. Hope somebody kills you, because otherwise I will when I see you. Oh, I get to be an A-Wing. Shoot me if you like, dickhead. I have the A-Wing now. And let's see how bad my connection is. Always a good way to determine how bad my connection is. Yep, the number of times it does that jerking back and forth shit like it's doing. Get off my buddy. Whoa. Yep, jerking way too freaking much for me to play something like Fighter Squadron on a stream. Again, I'm hoping very much so that by the time that I eventually get the new internet connection set up at the new house, that it'll be strong enough to be able to do it, because we're dumping the landline and using the money we're saving from dumping the AT&T Uverse VoIP landline, if you can even call it a landline, to get a higher speed internet connection. Because I didn't even know they had a higher speed connection until I started looking into it for the new place. Sadly, unfortunately, Charter isn't available in that area, because Charter's a lot faster, and I absolutely refuse to go back to Comcast, because I like I like a company where customer service actually means you're serving the customers, not screw you customers, you all should be slaves to our corporate machine. We're not going to do anything to actually help you. I don't think it's supposed that customer service is supposed to mean the customers are doing the serving. Unfortunately, somebody has not explained that to Comcast. Yeah! There's an ATST here. Was an ATST. Yay! Die, 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 die. Whoa! Ooh, the missile missed me, and I could actually see it fly by. That was actually kind of cool.
Control point capture is underway.
Good night. Yeah, which is funny because, like, my favorite mode on this game probably is, at least that I play the most often, is Fighter Squadron. That's why I've played 60 hours and I still don't have the kill 2,500 or whatever it is, or 1,500 or whatever it is with a Rebel or Imperial soldier. Because I played, a lot of my leveling up was done within Fighter Squadron, but I can't do it while streaming because it craps out so bad. I can try it again in a minute if you guys are interested, but I don't think it'll work. Which do I prefer, an A-Wing or X-Wing? I much prefer the X-Wing. And then for the Imperials, I much prefer the Interceptor. So, of course, whenever you get a challenge, it's almost always kills with a regular TIE fighter. Although, honestly, I really prefer the Millennium Falcon out of all of them. I just wonder if as jerky as this connection is, if I could pull off going to Fighter Squadron and doing my usual thing of the multiple Millennium Falcons or multiple Slave One attempts. I don't know how well I'd be able to actually grab the thing with these wonky controls and such. Why are you... I will be forever wondering why they're showing us HUT contracts that we've finished for no freaking reason. Even when you have ones you haven't finished, it's still showing you ones that you finished most of the time, which makes no sense. And why do you need to show me a summary that tells me my kills and deaths when you just showed me a scoreboard with the same damn thing? I feel like they're just looking for some way to suck up time while the game is loading. If you're going to do that, show us something more interesting. Or just keep the same screens up there slightly longer. The ones that are actually useful. Alright, so what was I? Yeah, let's see how well Fighter Squadron will actually work this time. We shall see! And it's funny because now that they've got these, it's difficult sometimes to jump into a match by choosing the type that you want because you never know if there's going to be enough people playing it. Heaven forbid you try to actually hit square on here and jump yourself to a specific map. Good freaking luck. So, yeah. We shall try. Atu, you're awake after all this time. Oh, wait, this is still the classic trilogy era. My bad. Oh, goody, at least I'm going to be a rebel. Watch it be like partway into a match, though. It's much easier to get the hero ship early in the match than late in the match, for what it's worth. I find. Just because if you have a sense of when that usually pops up on the map for the first time, you can usually be keeping an eye out for it a little bit. Relatively easily. Zooming lets you see far off targets clearly, but does not affect your accuracy. It should! Some star cards are powered by charges. When running low, you can spend credits to get more or find additional charges while playing. On some maps, it's easy. On other maps, not so much. In some modes, it's easy. In other modes, not so much. And, oh yeah, the charges are overpriced if you were to try to buy them. Let's see, 9 and... Whew. Sucky. The Junlin Wastes. They're not to be traveled lightly unless you're way up in the air. Alright, the match is like almost done. But we're about to get a victory.
We have enemy fighters coming in. Keep them off our transport ships.
What's interesting is I was playing the other day on my... like right now I've got a LAN cable plugged in. Anytime I stream, I take the cable and plug it in. Usually if I'm trying to play when I'm not streaming, where it's a little bit easier to maintain a connection, I'm usually just using my wireless signal, which is awful for trying to stream. But when I use that cable, or sorry, when I was using the Wi-Fi, this was yesterday, I actually started to get red internet connection notices where basically the ship would just, because I was playing this, the ship would just stop and you had no control whatsoever over anything. The game just locks while it has no connection. And then if you get the connection back, you get control back again. But, I mean, that includes even going to the menu, which is kind of asinine. All right, so let's try this again, but I highly doubt I'm going to be able to pull it off very well, given the fact that it's wonky controls, crappy connection, and TIE fighters, or TIE interceptors. Past the halfway mark. That's good. Working my way slowly towards level 60. Yeah, we won! Yay. You get to do much of anything. Kill 0, death 0. If you are playing Fighter Squadron, though, by the way, pro tip, God, I hate that phrase, but a pro tip, make sure that you're going after the ships that have player names. Right? You get a lot more scores for a kill of a human player than you would for killing basically an AI-controlled ship, and that's not just score for you, that's score for your team. The highest score comes from taking out the transport. The next highest is taking out Slave 1 or the Millennium Falcon, and then the next highest is taking out a regular player, and then it's AI. And keep in mind, if you're trying to up your score as you're playing, aim for, when you get a chance, aim for Millennium Falcon, aim for Slave 1. Because even if you're not the one to kill them, dealing damage to them is like dealing damage to the transport. You get points for doing so. When you do so for other ships as well in small amounts, but not nearly as much. Alright, so I'm just chilling. That's fine. I'm waiting to... You want to try to wait until... once the score reaches about 20 on either side, 20 to 25 is usually when the icons show, the power-up shows up for the hero ship. So we're coming up on it pretty soon, but the location varies. So usually I would suggest, there it is. Other guy got it first, but you see what I mean? As soon as we hit right around 20, for the one side, it shows up. So just keep an eye out for it near the bottom. It's AI, I don't care. Keep an eye out for it down at the bottom. Stay close to the ground, try to stay alive, and if you get the opportunity, get another AI one. If you get the opportunity, go for it. And if you keep an eye on the left-hand side, oh shit! You're gonna see anytime somebody becomes or destroys one of the hero ships, it'll say it in yellow off to the side, whether they're your partner or not. So keep an eye out for that, and if you see, for instance, if you're playing as an Imperial and you see the Slave 1 notification come up and say that it's dead, then relatively soon there'll be a new hero ship power-up that'll show up for an opportunity to play as Slave 1. Or Millennium Falcon if you're the Rebels and so on. Are you human? I was coming after him and he wasn't even human. You need actual... And speaking of how this works, if you're playing Fighter Squadron, you're trying to do one of those challenges, like get X number of kills with a TIE fighter. It only counts the kills that are human. It will not count the AI kills at all. Now, if it says destroy X number of X-Wings or something like that, then yes, it counts even the AI ones, which makes those a lot easier.
Direct hit. Their transport is down.
That transport is down. Man, we getting our asses kicked. Oh, okay. Defeated Millennium Falcon. I think Slave 1 should probably be dead, though, too. I have found if you're trying to take out the Millennium Falcon, the easiest way to take it out is to kamikaze it with Slave 1. Because that sucker is tough to take down otherwise. If you just want to take it out of play, grab yourself Slave 1 if you can, and just kamikaze that SOB. Whoa! Alright, so sometime soon, enemies trying to lock on me again. Sometime soon, it should pop up again. You're going to try to... What? Oh. I didn't even see myself get destroyed. Yeah, the server connection is absolutely horrible. That's why I usually don't do Fighter Squad for the stream. That's why I'm making it a point to do it today, just to kind of show how bad it gets and drop those couple of pointers since I haven't in a while. That falls under the category of ha ha, catch up, as Robin Williams once said. There we go. So you see it pop up, dive for it, see how this jerking back and forth, that's the connection again. Make sure you don't die. And yeah, when I'm usually playing like normally, outside of the stream, I'll tend to be the Falcon or the Slave 1 for most of the match or all of the match. Usually with Slave 1, it's having to acquire the power-up twice. Because it's not as versatile as a Millennium Falcon is. And if the person playing as the Millennium Falcon actually comes after you, you're pretty much screwed. Come on, here we go! Die, human! AI, but I'll take it, because it's points. Deal some... See, every time I deal damage to the Falcon, it's 20 points. So it's not a great option, because it takes a while to be able to take him out, but...
well done.
You know, even just attempting to do so can help. Oh, real player. Hello, real player. And your A-wing. Where are you going? Where are you going? And enemy locking, so hit the little... whatchamacallit, little jammer, and another AI one, whatever. And enemy locking, I don't have the jammer, so zip around in the circle, or take a U-turn, doing it again, so jamming up, but it's incoming, nothing I can really do. Where you going? Well, that's weird, that was a... AI? Was it an AI ship that was flying that way? Usually you don't see that kind of like really, really tight moves outside of an actual player. Interesting. Enemy locking. No, he's not anymore. Alright, so that's 10 X-Wings. Get back into the actual... And another AI, and enemy locking, and no, you're not. Missile is still incoming. That's weird, because I just activated the thing. He must have launched it right before I did.
Protect
Whoa! Still says incoming. Not anymore, apparently. Okay. Let's see. Adding as a friend would be a matter of going and doing a friend request to Darth_Soul. But if you're in the middle of, if I'm in the middle of a stream, I'm not going to answer the friend request while I'm in the stream. So you'd have to try another day. Like I'd have to approve it after this and then dead. The end. Try another day as far as actually joining the match. Yeah. But see, so you got 13 and 4. And I believe those are actual kills. I don't... No, wait. I'm trying to remember. Because they changed the way it displays. I actually think that now it shows all your kills, AI and human. But then if you're going to show up on the little score thing at the end as one of the 3, it'll show only your actual kills. It used to show actually regular kills, AI kills, and otherwise, but it doesn't divide it out like that anymore. Which is kind of asinine. Like the one time that they actually changed the scoreboard for Fighter Squadron, they change it so that it doesn't work as well. Yeah, see, kills 4, deaths 4. That's not what the scoreboard said, right? But it's because 9 of my kills or something like that were AI kills, whereas the other 4 were actual human players. And those would be the ones that would count if it was asking me to get kills on Fighter Squadron. All right, so let me jump out of Fighter Squadron so I'm not dealing with the lag as much. Cherry Dr. Pepper. Beautiful thing. Although I actually missed, there was a cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper for a while that was freaking awesome. But of course, since it was awesome, it's gone. Just like the original Mr. Pibb was awesome, and now it's replaced by Pibb Extra, which has a logo that looks kind of like it says Piss Extra, and it kind of tastes like it. Favorite droid out of those 3? BB-8, hands down. I like the expressiveness of BB-8, and just a cute and amusing droid. And I've got one of the little remote ones, not the Sphero one, the Target $80 ones. That we used to torment our cats every now and then. 40-player, 12-player. I haven't done 12-player in a while. Hardly ever use that button. I'll usually go straight into a match. Expanding search to 0% full games. That's promising. There's one. Yeah, remote play, I mean, remote play controls are pretty ugly. I think the issue here is a server connection. Because if you're trying to do remote play, keep in mind that as you are trying to connect between your Vita and your PS4, the PS4 is also trying to connect to not only PSN, but it's having to connect back and forth to the EA servers for Battlefront. And it's just not good. I mean, you can see what happens. I mean, even when I'm playing on my regular wireless connection with a strong connection with no other devices going, not trying to stream at the same time, the connection's not all that great for the EA servers. So you throw in the fact that you're trying to do remote play on that, and it's going to be kind of a mess. Cargo! Not a favorite, but at least it's not Droid Run. Although I do need... Oh, we about to win this sucker! Okay, I'll take it. No, I think I need 7 more Droid Run wins, because I almost never play it. 7 more for that trophy about getting 10 wins of each original Battlefront mode, but then I still have to get 10 wins of Hero Hunt, which I've almost never played, and which would be ridiculously grindy and annoying and difficult to be able to try to get. So, where are you at, you shielded son of a bitch? I need to figure out which old movie that was. It's an old John Wayne movie, and it's like, draw your weapon, you son of a bitch, or something like that. I need to find the actual quote so I can use it accurately. But alas. My dad would probably know. My dad loves John Wayne movies. I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 in my entire life. But I know the quote. Ooh, somebody shot you in the back. I shoot you in the head while you're... Uh-oh. Okay. Smoke in the corridor. Entrails blown into the sky. Oh, no you did not. You thought your shit would save you, didn't you? Where am I in the game right now? I did the 12-player thing, but it threw me into cargo. So if you go to your best option would be to go to cargo, or go to the on the menu for multiplayer. Go to the list of game modes off to the far. I'm trying to do this so you can see it. So over here, from your perspective, far left, go to list of game modes and choose cargo. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be dropped into this match, and right now, it doesn't look like it, because it looks like the match is... Actually, no. You might actually jump into it, because it looks like the match right now is like 5-on-5 instead of 6-on-6. So it's possible. Y posible. Which I'm sure is not accurate Spanish, but, you know. If one political party can refer to people who are here illegally as they are Americans and start saying that they need this, that, and the other, even though they are here illegally and not actually American citizens, then damn it, I can say things that are in Hackney, not quite Spanish, and it's okay. Because apparently we're going by definitions that aren't quite actually true. And if we're going to use language that isn't accurate, so can I.
Stormtroopers have
Kill you! Oh, cool. I don't usually hear people using the emotes for the weak way, and that sounds like the weak way talking. There was some emote earlier that sounded like Greedo was cussing, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I tried to escape it. Not so much.
Stay sharp, we got hostiles.
Stay sharp. Don't drink and lose your edge. Man, my head's killing it. 59 on my way to 60. I've got about halfway. Yeah, a little over halfway to 60 at this point. From 59 to 60. Pog monster. Now that song is stuck in my head. Which is sad because I don't actually know the song. Do you need a season pass for multiplayer? No. You need a season pass to do the Outer Rim multiplayer. Or just the Outer Rim DLC. To be able to play the Outer Rim stuff. But I'm not in Outer Rim right now. I'm in the regular multiplayer modes. The original base game multiplayer. Ah, you bastard! I see what you did there with that whole black outfit and the camouflage. Kudos to you. Oh, we got somebody who's got it. It's either going to be 3 minutes and 35 seconds or this guy is going to take it down for the win. Yeah, I'm going with the weak way just because it's the one thing that level 60 actually unlocks among the things you can get. I find it so idiotic that basically there is nothing unlocking from 40 to 60. Or I take it back. Nothing unlocking from 50 to 60. There is an unlock at, I think it's 45.
I smell materials in here.
Oh no, it shot me in the back. You don't actually, you don't actually have to say RIP every time I die, especially given the fact that you're the stream and the actual play is not 100% synchronous. There is a lag. So when you're saying RIP, it's well after I've died. See, somebody else who agrees. Now, Pog Monster, here's the real test. When it comes to progression in this game in terms of XP and credits, would you agree that when they do the double XP weekends, that's when it feels like the progression is normal and the way it should be, and that it is a slog and a progression that is too slow every other time? I like the weak way just because I can't get out of my head the two things. One, Hondo Onaka from Clone Wars, who's hilarious. Jim Cummings, I think, plays him. And then also the great god Quay and the story in Tales from Jabba's Palace in Legends, where we find out that basically the great god of the weak way that their species is named after is basically a freaking magic 8-ball. Cracks me up. Should we go to war? Not today! And peace reigned for the weak way culture. I'm just like, what the hell? And yet, totally awesome. Favorite pickup? Ouch. Probably the Tundra. Kidding, that's an actual pickup. Favorite pickup in the game, I would say, hands down, Thermal Imploder. Thermal Imploder. I love them suckers. Downside here is that I've got a blaster cannon, but I have little to no use for it, especially now that that's destroyed. Because I need to get targeting rifle kills for that challenge. Woo! Win by 10-0 in a cargo match. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Possibly. I can check the app and it would tell me. I am not in droid mode. I'm in cargo. Although I should probably do droid run, so I'll jump out of this and jump into droid run. I don't like droid run because droid run drives me nuts given the fact that usually only the last like 30 seconds of the game actually matter. But worth a shot. I mean, all I'm doing is grinding my way through and trying to get these challenges out of the way, and none of the challenges require a specific mode for this. So yeah, I'll jump out and I'll jump to droid run. I got about 20 minutes, give or take, before the possibility of the stream dying, but because I literally have jack still to do today, if I do wind up wrapping up the stream right at about 5, I'm going to keep an eye out and see if Michael Morris gets back, because usually at about 5:30 is when we would record an episode of Cloud City Casino on Thursdays, but he and I are taking a week off because there's not as much news to talk about just yet that we're going to talk about on the next episode. And then we'll be able to pick up from there. And yes, you do need PlayStation Plus. Any online multiplayer games whatsoever on PlayStation 4, you have to have PlayStation Plus in order to access. It's just kind of the name of the game. So you could so if you've got Battlefront, but you don't have PlayStation Plus, the only modes you're going to be able to do are missions. You'll be able to do the battles, the training, and survival, but you won't be able to play any of this content right here whatsoever, and it's completely pointless to buy any of the DLC because you must be online to be able to do it. And once you get PlayStation Plus and set that up, you'll be able to set up an EA account, which is the other thing that's required for this, but that's free and you'll be able to pick it up here. If you just got the system, in theory, there's probably a card or something that came with it to give you like a free month or a free however many weeks or whatever of PS Plus. Personally, I like PS Plus. Not only does it give you the online multiplayer for PlayStation 4, it gives you the online backup saves, and it helps because every month you're getting free games. Some months they're good, some months they're crap. This month, NBA 2K16 I'm kind of interested in, but I tend to prefer college basketball games. God of War, I think it's either Chains of Olympus or the other one. For Vita/PSP is going to be one of them. And there's another game that I'd already played and really liked and finished. Oh, Siren Blood Curse. All the episodes of Siren Blood Curse are coming out for PS3. And then there's 3 more games that I don't even remember. Gone Home might be one of them. But free games every month. Might as well go for it. Let's see. Yeah, that's sort of the name of the game. I think that at this point it's unfortunate that I do Droid Run. It's unfortunate that you need. Let's see if I can do Outer Rim Droid Run. It is unfortunate that you need PS Plus for this generation for the setup. The idea was that it costs so much to maintain the infrastructure of that sort of thing that they actually need the money coming in, but they're going to help make up for it by providing the free games, which is something that Xbox is now doing with Xbox Live with games with gold. And Xbox has been like that since the Xbox 360. If you wanted to play online multiplayer, you had to have Xbox Live Gold. We were sort of spoiled in the Sony camp in that the PS3 did not require PlayStation Plus to be able to play online multiplayer on the Vita, the PS3, or the PSP. But yeah, now that we're on PlayStation 4, that next gen, then yeah, it is required, and and not just for Battlefront. It's required for all games across the board if you're going to do online multiplayer. So like, if you want to play Destiny, you got to have PlayStation Plus. In fact, rewind it. A big part of the reason why I had reservations about this game to begin with was because it has no story mode. And what little content they've got is crap. And JL, it's not Sony and remote play that's the issue. It's the connection that's the issue. And it's always the connection that's the issue. It's always what has been an issue with remote play. Try remote play on something that doesn't require the connection, the online connection. You'll be in slightly better shape. And again, I would suggest doing a direct connection if you can to the PS4. And wow, this will be interesting. Droid Run with 5 players. For real? And go. I would expect, if it's not out yet, I would expect an announcement of the exact release date for the Bespin DLC at Celebration Europe, more than likely. Because it said that Star Wars games are going to have a pretty big presence at Celebration Europe. They may even drop the DLC right around the time of Celebration Europe to be able to build on that hype. They've done it before. Okay, Droid Run. Yay! Again, not a favorite, but might as well. Not really tips for Greedo. I haven't really played as Greedo. I'm a big fan of Greedo. I like 9-Num, but I don't like Greedo all that much for play. Except, try not to die. And I don't say that facetiously, because the more that he kills and the longer that he lives, the better his confidence meter gets and the better his abilities get, which is something else that 9-Num can do. It's just it works slightly differently for Greedo. No idea for the DLC trailer. Although, you would expect sometime soon. I'm hoping that the last one, I am hoping that the last one will be a Rogue One tie-in. I think it makes sense. But they may do some Rogue One stuff with Death Star, because that is a prominent setting for Rogue One, apparently, so be nice. New Imperial skin. If you're talking about an actual character, again, I'd like to see, or just Imperial skin in general, I would like to see them add some of the other trooper variants. Like the one from Rogue One, for instance, the Death Troopers. Add those. Because, I mean, at this point, we're basically just, I mean, the main reason I run with the Shadow Trooper is because aside from the Scout Trooper, it's the only one that looks all that different from any of the others. There isn't that much variance. Or enough variance. And Snow Troopers you can't manually choose. That just happens when you're on Hoth and happen to choose a regular Stormtrooper.
We must double our efforts.
Come on, do it, do it, do it. Click. Okay. Luke and Darth, always make sure to block because I never do and I always die. And attempt, if at all possible, I would suggest like hit and run. Go in, clear out some enemies, get out of there because when they get enemies too close to them, their blocking doesn't do very well. Why are you shooting your own shield generator? What the? Something wrong with that boy. Anyone? Alright, well we got this one and we got the other one. We got...
Claiming the final power droid.
Yeah, claiming the last one. We might actually win this one the way you're supposed to win it rather than just having more than the other team when the time runs out, which is usually what happens. Which is why I say that generally on these matches, only the last 30 seconds tend to count. And now they are taking it.
The droids are ours. Victory
Where the hell were the other troopers who were around me right around the time they got up there?
Keep the droid out of their hands.
Got it. Ah, my shield wouldn't activate. I got about halfway through activating the droid, saw that the enemy was coming and held down triangle to activate the shield, and it wouldn't leave the activation animation. Like so. Mine! Eat it! Frickin' follow me when I'm in a shield, trying to wait till my shield falls down to shoot me. Suck it! I do like 9-Num. I haven't actually done the orbital strike more than probably once with him because I play too aggressively with him. I don't stay back as much as I should. Claim all droids.
One droid remains. Seize it.
Let's do something other than refresh.
Hostile sighted.
Do not underestimate the usefulness of being able to walk up to a power-up when you already have one and hold down square to switch out the one you've got for a different one. That can be very helpful. Alright. Let's see. Let me run to the other side here and drop a shield. Just in case I got to shoot through the shield, bust out the scatter gun. Stop pushing. Stop pushing. Stop pushing. Stop pushing. Stop pushing me.
A droid has been lost.
Ha ha! Shot you through a shield. Didn't think I could. Good job, Biznatch. Bonk. Rogue One doesn't match the other content that's going to be given in, what, the Death Star DLC? Yes, I also would agree. I don't see why people are using Greedo very much. I'm not a big fan of Greedo on this. Not a big fan of Greedo in general. Especially now that Greedo's background has been erased from both continuities thanks to Clone Wars. Well, okay, not from both continuities. Erased from Legends and never existed in canon. The whole thing with him showing up in Clone Wars kind of screwed that story up. I'm not sure if that was Paul Inns that did that one or Pablo Hidalgo that wrote that one. Because he did the...
We've captured all the power droids.
There you go. They did the one in Tales from Mos Eisley, and then they did a comic adaptation of it as a web strip online. No! You friggin' rebel bastards! No! And why is it that when you send out the scan pulse, it really does sound like a tricorder from Star Trek? Just saying. And why would... I mean, this game doesn't really have much of a timeline anyway. You're playing during the Battle of Hoth, you're playing during the Battle of Endor. The Death Star DLC is going to have the Death Star still in existence. So why wouldn't it make sense? I mean, it's this era. It's the classic trilogy era. It's between Rebels and the end of Return of the... Or it's between Rebels and at least a year after Return of the Jedi, because the Jakku map, the Battle of Jakku, is a year after Endor. Claiming. Alright, let's do this again. Let's actually do it this time. This is the most I've seen the "we are winning" popping up to even have an opportunity to do it in a match of Droid Run ever. Because again, in Droid Run, if somebody doesn't... Oh, there's my comics showing up from Things from Another World. If you don't get all 3 and keep them for enough time, it literally comes down to who's got 2 at the end rather than 1. That's it. That is all that this comes down to. And none of the play through the entire rest of the match matters worth a shit. I hate that. Yeah, let's see. Too bad the imploder is not available until you build up your meter. Oh, for one of them, I guess. For one of the heroes. I was like, wait a second, what? I'm gonna say, because as a power-up, it's fine. Oh, see, we have gotten the "we are winning" multiple times now, right? If we lose 1 right now to the other team, we still lose the game. No, we still lose the match, no matter how much we've been whooping it this entire rest of the match. Absolutely asinine. I'm not gonna... I won't take that. No. They only care about real episodes, not just the Star Wars story. Lucasfilm right now, they're gonna... And EA, they're gonna be wanting to build up all the Star Wars film properties and do the tie-ins. I mean, hell, you think about this game. This game got rushed out with no story and a pretty bare-bones package for... See? Winning. Oh, sorry. In the last 2 or 3 seconds, the other team got a second droid, so haha, you lose. Only the last 30 seconds matter in a game of Droid Run 99% of the time. Same old shit. Yeah, I probably ought to at some point. I keep being told I should, but I just haven't. It's because I'm being told in one hand it's great for geek culture. The other hand says that it's very patronizing to geek culture and you'll get pissed by watching it. I'm not entirely sure which I would fall into. Yeah, see, we lost in the last 30 seconds. Which, again, is el bullshit o grande in my bad Spanish. Alright, so I guess I'll stick with Droid Run here briefly. I'm going to hit join, but I'm going to step away for the split second that it takes to grab those comics off the door as it loads. There we go. Huzzah. Game starting in 4, 3, 2, 1. Probably like this because it's Star Wars comics when I get a chance to pull it back out at the end of the match again. We don't have actually a local comic shop technically. You've got... I mean, there's ones that if you want to drive to Noonan, Georgia, you can. Fayetteville, Georgia, you can. Fairburn, Georgia, and Union City, and this little... And Palmetto, this little area here. None of them have them. The last one that existed was actually one that was run by my wife's dad. But that closed a few years back. So I started ordering my comics through Things from Another World, which is the TFAW.com, which are great and all, except... For a while there, every single time I would order comics, or sorry, not every time, but over half of the time when I would order comics and they would come through the regular mail on a weekly basis, they would show up bent and damn near destroyed, and I would have to get them replaced anyway. So I started doing it now where I have them come monthly from UPS. But I still pick them up digitally on the day of release through Comixology, so I've already read them. They're coming here for the collection. I take off I pull the code, the free digital copy code, and hand that off to Mark Herleman so that he can have read them by the time of us recording for Star Wars Beyond the Films, because in general he doesn't buy the print ones anymore until the trade paperback comes out. So all that is to say, I finally got my monthly launch from launch of comics from Things from Another World here, which is nice because I wasn't sure if they were going to show up before we moved, and then that's a whole other thing. Thank you. Just in case somebody wants to come at it from this side, there's a proximity. Well, I thought I was doing a proximity bomb. Apparently
Imperials
not.
are on their last droid.
Go. Yeah, what's funny is I find that when I'm playing this,
We've captured the droids. Defend them for the Rebel Alliance.
it usually comes down to only the last 30 seconds mattering. And almost every time, it's my team that loses. So that's part of why I've just said screw it to Droid Run, because it's frustrating and just annoys the hell out of me for various reasons. Those kind of at the top of the list. So the end result is that I still only have gotten maybe 4 wins in Droid Run, and you need 10 for that diorama piece. Although, again, granted, I don't have the hero hunt stuff yet. Will we ever see release the unaltered movies again? I would think so at some point. It's just a question of working out the release rights and whatnot. Just keep in mind, release rights to A New Hope remain with Fox. 20th Century Fox and so forth, rather than with Lucasfilm and Disney. So you're in a situation where any new release, they're going to have to figure out, who gets to release what and profit sharing and that sort of thing for those. And they have to do the same thing with Warner Brothers for any Clone Wars releases. Except for Season 6, because those were all put out through Cartoon Network, which is owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers was the ones with the distribution rights to them. At least up to a certain time. I think there's a time limit on those, at least. I think. It's been a long time since I've looked at the distribution rights for anything but the films. Yeah! We're losing one!
Imperials are claiming a droid.
Damn it! Tried to get the whatchamacallit to work. I mean, they should make a deal with them, but you've seen how long it took for them to finally make a deal between Sony and Disney to get Spider-Man to show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they still haven't figured out something for Fantastic Four or X-Men, because Fox keeps thinking that somehow they're going to pull an awesome Fantastic Four or X-Men movie out their butts. Which apparently, based on the reviews of Apocalypse, they haven't managed to do with X-Men. Although I did like Days of Future Past. They sure haven't done it with Apocalypse, apparently. And the last Fantastic Four was garbage, and they're still like, we're going to do a sequel so we can keep the rights. You go ahead and do that. Alright. And no, never have had to kill a man. Almost. There was a point at which there was a distinct possibility of having to do some self-defense kind of killing back when there was a hit put out on my wife, but that's a whole nother story. And probably not one that is best shared on a stream. Kill him! Ah, now we're losing C. Is C the one I was running toward? I don't even know. Did we get... Hey, an actual win. There you go. Capture and win with all 3 droids. You get a droid master at the end as a separate reward because it's so freaking impossible to do almost. Yeah, speaking of Fantastic Four, Kate Mara, of course, who played Invisible Girl, reminds me. I now have my candidate that I'm supporting in this election. Underwood. I'd much rather see Frank Underwood as president than either of the 2 current leading candidates. Or really almost either of the 4. I mean, I like Bernie's way of speaking, but I'm an economics teacher, and fuck no. I'd like to have somebody in the White House who has at least taken the first semester of economics in college and paid attention. All right. All right, so still Droid Run. Hey, now I've got another win, though, on Droid Run, so that should bring my total up to 70... No. 75 out of the 90 total from the original game for that one thing. I wonder why I still have... I must be just sucking today because I'm not getting the... I still haven't unlocked that whatchamacallit piece. Diorama piece. All right, I'm going to do one more match of this. And then because of the stream getting up to about 2 hours, that's usually a little bit after that is when it starts to crap out and it'll just die on me. Like YouTube's choking on it somehow. I'll kill it, but I'm going to check with Michael Morris when I get the opportunity and see whether or not he wants to do a stream probably sometime within the next hour or so. We'll probably start it. Let's see. What do we have? We got Star Wars 19, the Rebel Jail storyline, where we find out who the killer or who the attacker is, and that it's tied into Star Wars Annual 1. Last issue of the useless Obi-Wan and Anakin miniseries. It was not very good. Darth Vader number 20, where they reveal some secrets of some things. Actually, no, this is the beginning of that end of game storyline. So maybe that's a reveal. I'd have to go back and look. And then a second issue of Poe Dameron. Protect the egg at all costs. Weird. All, I think, are ones that I've already read, though I'm not sure about the Vader one. I think I have, when they first came out. But again, I have the physical collection. I've got all the Star Wars comics in their first... Oh, crap! Their first format of the U.S. releases, at least. Barring... like 2 or 3 that were actually UK exclusives initially. And in the case of some of the really early Marvel stuff, I think the first few issues are like second printings rather than first. But, yeah. Yeah, I did like Tobey Maguire. I think Tobey Maguire was a good Spider-Man. I'm not quite sure. I think the jury's still out on the guy that plays Spider-Man in, or the boy that plays Spider-Man in Civil War, because he's just really young. And it makes Aunt May really, really young. And no, I'm not going to play Heroes vs. Villains. If you saw the beginning of this stream, you'll know why. Short version is it's jacked up. It's broken now.
Securing a droid.
I've played quite a bit of Heroes vs. Villains today. Quite a bit in the last week or so. And every single game had at least one round where it was an uneven match because of the way that the selection of the heroes were. And I don't mean unbalanced, like 3-on-3 and just one team made bad choices. I'm talking 3 heroes versus 1 villain. Or 3 villains versus 2 heroes. That makes no sense because of the way that they've now set it up to pull in the characters.
One droid
if you want to see some Heroes vs. Villains of me playing, wait until the the stream ends. This will process on YouTube, and it was the first thing I was playing for like the first 20 minutes or whatever of the stream to illustrate those exact issues.
Droid pinpointed. Seizing it now.
All right, there we go. All right, so take that. Let's go claim him. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let's drop her another of these suckers. Now there's 2 of them guarding this one.
Capture the last droid.
Which is the one that I'm standing by. Gonk.
All the droids
Secret
have
Wars
been
movie?
captured.
Pretty interesting, though. Honestly, I don't remember Secret Wars well enough to know whether that was a good idea or a bad idea. It's been a very long time since I read any Secret Wars. Unless you're talking about like a newer Secret Wars, in which case I didn't read it at all. I'm thinking of like the 80s Secret Wars that had the toys. Thanks, Andrew, and I'll catch you later on. Oh, better put up a shield. Better put up a shield. And, of course, he won't, even though I'm holding it down. Because, again, it was trapped in the animation of it. Other games that I play, tend to like third-person shooters. So, actually, one of my favorite, but a very underappreciated game for the PS3 was Dark Sector. Big fan of the Uncharted games. In fact, pretty soon I'm going to be doing live stream Let's Play style streams of all the Uncharted console games, 1, 2, 3, and 4 off the PS4, now that I've repurchased them as the Nathan Drake collection. Played quite a bit of Destiny, but not recently. Whoa! Played Disney Infinity, mainly for the Star Wars content and the Marvel content. Though the stream, I did live streams, let's play live stream type things of all of the Star Wars play sets that are on the stream. Gonna be doing that for Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, got Lego Dimensions, but have barely played much of it except for the Doctor Who content. I really like survival horror games, third-person shooter survival horror games, and games with good stories. So I also really liked like Until Dawn, for instance, was a favorite.
Acquire the final droid.
Which, oh, I put my shield up too, like an idiot. Do you know where you can find a deluxe edition PS4 for Star? You're talking about the one with the Darth Vader on it? Not really, unless you check like eBay or something. But you're going to be paying a pretty high price. Those things sold out pretty quickly.
Seizing the final droid.
Let's just see. Oh well. I mean, the black suit. The black suit thing was weird in Secret Wars the way they handled it. So I'd like to see the black suit story, but told in maybe the way that they told it in Ultimate Spider-Man instead, where it was basically designed as like a cancer research kind of thing by Parker's dad and Brock's dad, Eddie Brock's dad.
Rebels in the area.
So you can tell there's that lag is still there because I run over the power up and it still takes a second for it to pop. Oh, shiza! Alright, if you're gonna die in style, I suppose. Where am I on targeting rifle? Okay, 8 more and then I can switch to something else. Which probably means after the stream, because I highly doubt I'm gonna get 8 more kills in the span of 4 minutes on Droid Run, of all things.
They're capturing the remaining droid. Ward them off.
Nice! Didn't do any good, but nice. I always like to hear a pow. And there's our... Oh, nice freaking... There you go, now you take it.
Control of that droid.
Bumped into me and it stopped me from being able to take the droid. Between the two of us, we still killed him and I ran into him flat on. I should be dead. But I'm not. My health won't regen... Come on! There we go. Lord. There we go. Yeah, not a big fan of the Amazing Spider-Mans. I think they got way too into the emo Parker. I mean, to an extent, they were all right. I think the second one was pretty bad. So, aha! Anticipated that question. Actually, not really. I was just riffing on it. But riffing, not ripping. Riffing with an F. That's what I'm like, oh, why are you ripping on a question, man? No, I was riffing. That show is a lot of bones to be one animal. Oh no, it's a Wampa cave! They dragged him in here to kill them! I gotta get the hell out of here! Yeah, wasn't gonna win that shootout. Shooting beside him 3 or 4 times. Got a kill assist though. And into the tunnel. Rogue One's story, I mean, we don't really have a lot of detail. It's just that Rogue One is going to be the story of basically the mission, the Rebel mission to get the Death Star plans, essentially. That, in essence, that's what it is. The canonical version of the story, because there are certainly multiple versions of that story in Legends already. Dang it! Let me out! What the frack? Ah. $122. Which will end first, the match or the stream crapping out on the PS4? Only time will tell. Oh crap! It's a friggin' whatchamacallit? It's a turret. Yeah, that didn't do any good. I was hoping I could smoke the turret. Oh yeah, I still need to do X number of charged star card activations. Come on! Come on! Fucking activate!
Claiming a power droid.
What the heck? Whoa! Beep, 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 beep. Come on, health regenerate. My goodness. Seriously, there we go. Holy shit. Yeah, Aunt May being young is odd, but they couldn't have made the jokes about Tony Stark wanting to bone Aunt May if she was super, super old without making him super, super creepy. It's like as they've been going along, Spider-Man and Aunt May have both been getting younger and younger. Probably seen the meme out there of like next time Spider-Man will be a baby and Aunt May will be like a toddler or something. All right, so let's call it a day for this one, and then I'll check and see if Michael's going to be around. Still working, still getting there. Went from about 20,000 XP towards 60 to almost 60 now, which is, decent enough. Yeah, the strange case of Benjamin Button. That's what it is! Uncle Ben was Benjamin Button! We just didn't know. And his death affected all of them. And, okay, so jumping out. Let's see where we stand on everything, and then bail. Not Organa. Because I'm good with playing quite a bit more. This was an unexpected day off by accident of all the house stuff needing to be done, and I got done with that by mid-afternoon, so I was able to just have a day to chill, thankfully. Okay, so where do I stand? Let's see. We're looking at just over 20,000 still to go to get to rank 59. I do have the cash already saved up now to be able to purchase myself the whatchamacallit costume. Almost ready to the weak way. Almost ready to buy another upgraded star card, but not quite yet. A little less than halfway toward the 75 kills challenge. Only got 4 more charges to use to get done with that challenge, if I can remember to use them. 6 more kills with the targeting rifle to knock out that other challenge. All the daily challenges done earlier prior to starting the stream. And last but not least, let's see where that diorama piece is sitting on the count. Because I started out with, I want to say, 30-something more kills needed to get to unlock the thing that has, I think it's 1,500 kills as an Imperial soldier. So we'll see where that one stands, and that'll be it. As I go through and check here, just to kind of give you the final spiel, as always, you can find the podcast that I'm a part of, Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Hurlin, where we talk about legends and canon stories and whatnot over at StarWarsReport.com. You can also find Cloud City Casino over at StarWarsReport.com as well. That is a Star Wars gaming podcast with a dash of collecting that I do with Michael Morris, who may be joining me on a stream very soon. I have 11 kills to get as an Imperial soldier before I unlock the Magma Trooper. Nice. You can find my Star Wars chronology, the Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, over at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. If you're interested in Star Wars video content, this channel, YouTube.com/user/chronoradio, has stuff like from the Star Wars Home Video Library, old episodes from the Star Wars Library, that is a discontinued or on hiatus series. Plenty of other stuff to be found there, the vlog included. Most recently, I put up reviews of the Imperial Assault releases for the Bespin Gambit, Lando Calrissian, Blaze, Bosk, and the ISB Infiltrators, if you're curious to see what is in all those packages for Fantasy Flight games. With that, I am going to bid you adieu, because I don't want this thing to die on me. I will be checking with Michael, and if all is well, I will probably start another stream sometime between 5:30 and 6:30 Eastern, which means between 10 and 40 minutes from now. Thank you for watching. Hope you can check the next one if we do one here in a little bit. I appreciate it, and may the Force be with you all.